I'm going to provide you with a dynamic stretch sequence. You can do the morning before you tee off, or maybe this is something we're going to use in the off season to stay limber and mobile. The only thing that you're going to need is a club and a little bit of space to work around you. So find a good spot and we'll get started. We'll get started warming up the legs. Club is on your left side, and I just want you to start a little pendulum swing. Stand up nice and tall and just let that left leg go along for the ride. It's relaxed. Try a diagonal swing. I'm going to go to the back left and across to the front right. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just let that right leg relax all on its own. Setting up for that right side, just begin that pendulum swing, nice and easy. Now this is best done without shoes if possible. We want to work as much articulation through the joints of the feet and to the ankle as possible. Try your diagonal across to the left, back to the right. Stand nice and tall, right leg is going along for the ride. Let that leg stop all on its own. And step those feet a little bit wider than your hips. You can bring the club behind you, maybe bringing it to about the region of your rib cage. Draw the navel in, stand tall, and just take it into a gentle spin. We're just in warm up, take it easy. The heels will lift as you turn. And just ease out of that twist, nice and slow. Place the club on your right side, taking that left foot and tuck it behind your right knee. You're standing tall, work your way into stork turns. Now, if this feels good, or perhaps you've done this with me for a while, see if you can challenge your balance by using no support on the floor. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. That takes a little bit of practice. Give me a little hip circle. Both directions. All right, let's go ahead and see how we do for our second side. Right foot is going to tuck behind that left knee. Start here and just focus on the rotation. When you're ready to progress, maybe you've done this with me for a while, come up into your twist if you can. Rotations. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That is ridiculously challenging. I'm sure some days are better than others for me and you. Take a hip circle. And we're gonna sit up for something that looks very much like a downward facing dog. Your feet will remain slightly wider than your hips. And I want you to hinge back. Extend the arms forward and focus on that movement coming right from the crease of your hips. Never rounding our back to get here, but rather a long spine takes us forward. Squeeze the muscles of your legs, right? Engaging our quads to open up through our hamstrings. Fold forward with a brief pause. Actively push your hands away from your hips. The gaze is down. You should feel as if your arms and your ears are aligned. Roll your way up. And now as you extend forward, I want you to bend just your left knee. As you come into that end range, try to sink your left shoulder towards the floor, and you're gonna feel a deeper stretch through your side body and lat on that left side. Inhale, center, legs will straighten, and begin to bend just the right as you sink right? So feel yourself rotating now to the left. Keep extending those hands away. Legs straighten, come back to center, and roll your way up. As you come up from that dog, just give me a nice little twist. You're standing tall. And to center. Setting your club up on your right side and meet me with a staggered stance. That left leg is going to kick back. And focus on a pelvic tilt here. I'm gonna draw the pelvis underneath me by squeezing the glutes and drawing the navel in. Same arm as leg, that left arm is gonna come up and over. Focus on intentionally dropping the hip as you lift up and out of the waist on that left side. Nice breath in. And on that exhale, release. The club's gonna come right in front of you and you should be able to plant that back foot for a pyramid stretch, hinging from the crease of your hip forward and come back up. Press the pelvis forward and then extend the tailbone to the ceiling as you reach. Our goal here is to tap the hamstring on this right leg. Last time, brief pause. You can hold here. Looking down at the floor, you should feel your biceps and your ears aligned as you lift through the tailbone. Roll your way up, keeping your feet as they are. And let's see if we can get a little bit into that ankle mobility. Bend your back knee, right? Keeping that heel on the floor. And then lunge forward. My heel never lifts. Back and forth. Just go to your end range. Right? We've got to focus on the ankle mobility. I think it gets forgotten. See if you can give me a brief pause there. I'm going to sink back. That heel is planted, but I'm definitely feeling something back there. And up. Lift that heel, come back into your lunge. Dropping down, pelvis squeezes forward. Bring that club right in front of you. Full breath in. Exhale, twist into the knee. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Brief pause, come into your twist on the exhale. Squeeze and engage the glutes. Ease back to center and step those feet together. Just pedal it out. Let's take a look at that second side. Right leg steps back, drop back and press the pelvis forward. Arm comes up and over, right? There's an intentional drop of the hip as you reach up and out of the side body. On that exhale, release. Club can come right in front, plant that back heel, and start by pressing the pelvis forward, and then right from the crease of your hip, we're gonna go long. Right, getting into that back side, feeling it all the way up the hamstring. Once more, extend forward and hold. There is an intentional lifting of the tailbone, and you could almost imagine trying to shorten the distance between your belly and that front thigh to really accentuate the stretch in that hamstring. Roll your way up, maybe bring that club a little closer. All right, ankle mobility. I'm gonna sink back to the best of my ability and then lunge forward, right? Don't let that heel lift. Back and forward. Give me one more. Hinge back, all feeling. Nice full breath. As you release, pop that heel. Bend those knees. You should feel the glutes engaged with a pelvic tilt. Inhale, center. Exhale, 2 rotation. Inhale, exhale. Last one, we'll do a little hold here. On that exhale, focus on rotation. Draw that navel in. And release. Go ahead and step those feet together. I'm gonna say just give it a little pedal. Let's just acknowledge how we're feeling so far. All right, one more for these legs, then we'll travel a little bit into our upper body. What is your standing pigeon? So with the club on our right side, go ahead and cross that right ankle just above the thigh. And this is important. You'll want to make sure that you don't round forward from here, but rather we're doing that same hinge back from the crease of our hips. So hinging back, the club can go to your right side, which is going to create a little more stability for the pose. And if you want to go deeper, you're going to take that opposite palm, push it into your heel as you sink into your stretch. This is also really good to just focus on a little bit more work for balance. We'll give it one more breath while we're here. And slow to release. All right, second side. Foot is flexed as it comes over the thigh. You hinge back. That might be enough. I'm going to use my hand to go a little deeper. When I press the hand into the heel, I create a little bit more of a distraction or space in that hip joint. Sink that hip a little bit deeper. One more breath. With a slow release. All right, let's get a little bit more into this upper body. Let's get started by stepping your feet a little bit wider than your hips. And I just want you to make sure you're engaging through the muscles of your legs. The navel's drawn in. We're not popping through the ribs. Arms are going to extend up and overhead. Focus on dropping one arm and bending the opposite elbow. And we'll go from one side over to the other. Actively pull the lower ribs together. Next time you drop over to that left side, I want you to pause there. Actively pull down with the left and up with the right elbow. Up and over to our second side. Really focus on lengthening that left elbow up. Pull down through the right. Bring those arms back up and overhead. And I want you to focus on lengthening through the sides of the waist as you come over. There's a tendency here to kind of want to dump into it. I want you to focus on lengthening through both sides of your waist. And even if you could go deeper by spiraling that left shoulder and arm a little further behind you. Up and over, second side. Right arm rotates back behind you. Release. And I want you to bring the club behind you. I'm going to hold onto the club head with my hands and try to get my club onto my sacrum. Your goal here is to keep the club on your sacrum. Try to widen your elbows and lift your sternum towards the ceiling. We're focusing on really opening up through the upper body and the mobility in the thoracic spine. Keep trying to pull the elbows wide. So the only thing touching that club should be your sacrum and your head. Give it one more breath. Oh, go ahead and release. That's always such a tight one for me. I want you to take the club in your left hand here. So I'm just going to squeeze on the thumb and the inside of my hand. Bring that club out to the side. Relax your shoulders. Pull it as far behind you as you can. And I want you to do a little head tilt. Lift your left ear towards the ceiling. And a little rotation. I'm going to go chin to shoulder, ear to ceiling. Just feel that big stretch in the neck And that's another one that we forget about, right? To stretch our neck, but it's critical. And one more time. Bring that head back up to center and bend the elbow. As the elbow bends, I want you to bring the club behind you. You should be able to reach across with your right hand and just be really gentle with this one, especially if it's the first time you're trying it. Gently try to pull the club forward, rotating the elbow forward and the hand back. I like to just go back and forth for a couple rounds, testing my range of motion. And then a brief pause. Take a nice full breath in, and on the exhale, just try to sink into the expression. Release. Switching hands, I'm gonna go to that thumb and the inside of the right hand, come out to the side. As far behind you as you can go with that right arm, tilt to the ceiling. We're gonna go back and forth, nice and slow, don't rush. Chin to shoulder, ear to ceiling. And one more time. All right, head's gonna come up. Bend behind you, right? So we want that club behind the right arm. Reach across with your left, nice and gentle. Range of motion will differ from right to left. Nice and slow, just explore the movement. Find a brief pause. And release. Bring that club out in front of you, and I want you to focus on extending down and forward. We're just working on stretching through the muscles of the knuckles and strengthening the forearm. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed. Come into an isometric hold. I want you to curl under the best you can, and we'll start a little pulse. In for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Pull under and hold. Especially in the off season, we've got to stay conditioned, or else as soon as we start back up, a heavy case of golfer's elbow. Let's do another round of 10 pulse. In for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Isometric hold. Push those fists away from you. And release. All right, go ahead and set that club down. I want you to make a fist with your right hand, tucking your thumb in and just wrapping your fingers. As you pull your thumb forward, I want you to take your left thumb and drag it up the forearm, feeling a deep stretch through the wrist. And you can take a couple rounds here. Once more, thumb pulls forward, left thumb drags up the forearm. And release. Second side, I'm going to tuck in and around. Pull forward as you drag back with the right thumb. And just take a couple rounds, maybe notice if you're feeling a little more tightness on one side than the other. And release. All right, stand with those feet a little bit wider than your hips. Relax your shoulders. Take it out with the right and bring it across your body for a hook. Left arm is going to hook across. Right shoulder pulls to the back corner of the room as you drag this left arm down the right. Actively shrug your shoulders to the floor. They like to hike up here. And release. Second side, left arm is going to come up and across. Actively shrug to the floor as you drag across with this right arm. and release your work. So there you have it. For those of you who are ready to tee off, I wish you good luck on the course today. For others, this is our maintenance program to do in the off season. For the channel, I will work on a small playlist specifically for my golfers to interchange this dynamic flow with a yoga stretch sequence, as well as conditioning movements we can do to help enhance your game and the power behind your swing. Share this with any fellow golfers you may know, and consider subscribing to the channel to help support us and watch us grow. Good luck on the course and in your game. Namaste.